Cool. All right, let's go back to that process, the birth of It Takes Two. Tell us the process.
Well, when we started working on the record, like I said, we would go like from.
But one thing, I'm gonna stop you. Like I said, because we're gonna edit out, so we're gonna get the best takes. So
Okay.
like I said, we're gonna kill that.
Okay.
All right, let's go back.
Well, when we was working on It Takes Two, we had to be in the studio that night. So what happened was, we were listening to a bunch of different records and trying to figure out, what would be a good sample to use. So I like the sample, I think it was Think by Lynn Collins. I like that sample, and I said, this would be hot. Even her hook in the song was hot. So I was like, you know what, we're going to keep the hook, It Takes Two to make a thing go right, use the woo yeah. But we needed like a backbeat to go to it. So Easy Rock used to always cut this record called Set It Off. And it was a club banger. All the clubs, they used to play the song all the time. So we just took both of those ideas and made it into one. We didn't use the Set It Off sample. We actually played a beat that's really similar to the Set It Off sample, but we played the beat behind the Think sample, and that's how we came up with It Takes Two.
Wow. So it's pretty much you produced the beat.
Yes, we produced it. Me and Easy Rock, and also William Hamilton. We all got together and we, put it together.
Now you told me about the beat coming together. Now, so let's talk about the lyrics that you laid on top of the beat. How that came together. Take me in the studio.
Well, after we put the beat together, I went home, sat down, and I had a big rhyme book that I used to keep my rhymes in. So I was just going through the book trying to see what would fit where. And, I had rhymes that was already written that fit the song perfectly. So when we went back in the studio the next day, I just simply went in there and did those rhymes, and it came out perfect.
How long did it take to do this song overall?
Well, it took us probably about 2 days to do it, to complete it. Because the first day we went in, we did the beat. And then the next day we went in, dropped the vocals, and I think we also mixed it the same day too. It was crazy. The process was crazy.
So you saying you wrote the lyrics and one night? Tell me about the lyric writing process again.
Well, the lyrics, like I said, I had the lyrics already written in a book. So what I did was, I went home, played the beat, and I was listening to, the beat, and I just was going through my rhyme book, and I was like, oh, this rhyme will fit here, that rhyme will fit there. So it just came together like that. So we went back in the studio the next day. It was like, it was real quick, because once I got in there, I dropped the lyrics, and it fit perfectly, and then we was done.
Who was in the studio with you, and tell me about the reaction and your reaction once you heard your lyrics on top of the beat that you made?
Well, when I first heard it, I was saying to myself, I felt I had a hit. I was like, yo, this is a hit. It's going to work. I played it for a few people, and they were like I think I played it for Cut Professor Barry B from the Get Fresh crew, and he said, Rob, the record is too long. And then I played it for a couple of other people, and they said it was too fast. And then some people said we had too much woo yeah in it. But, even my manager, he was like, we need to take some of the woo yeah out. But I had to fight. I was fighting him on that. I said, no, we got to leave that. And all the way through the song, and he listened, and I'm glad that I stood my ground with that, because I think the woo yeah part is the thing that makes the record,
That's what's up. And then Easy Rock, him being a DJ, what was Easy Rock reaction to the record?
Well, he definitely, we thought alike at that time. We grew up together, so he thought we had a hit. We both thought we had a hit, but one time we went up to Rooftop up in Harlem. We went up to Rooftop, the skating rink, and I think Brucey B played the record, and the record came on, but we were standing there and we said to ourselves, yo, this record is too fast. It's too fast. People ain't gonna get with this. So, it wasn't that many people there that night. But then we went there like 2 weeks later. He played the record again, and the crowd was going crazy. We couldn't believe it. We was like, yo, we got a hit record right here.
That's what's up. Do we need to say DJ Easy Rock at the beginning, at the top of that, Adrian?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to the next. Okay, so take me to the process. You're in the studio. You make the record. You're feeling it. tell me what happened soon after that, and how long did it take before you were signed to Profile at the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make the record. Tell me what you do. Do you go play it for your record company, or what happens next?
Well, once we recorded the record, I think my manager, he just I think he mailed it out to Profile Records, if I'm not mistaken. He mailed it to them, and then he got a call back to come in. So he came in, and they wanted to sign us, and he came to me and was like, yo, we getting ready to sign with Profile Records. I didn't even believe him. To be honest, I was like, yeah, whatever, you know. I didn't think we were signing with them, but he came back around with the contracts and stuff like that, and we signed the contracts. But I still, for some reason, didn't believe it, because Profile Records was like a huge rap label at the time. You know, Run DMC was on there, Dana Dane, and I think the Disco 4. It was like a lot of big groups on that label, so I really didn't feel it was happening. I didn't believe that we were signed to Profile Records until I had the record in my hand. And then I was like, yo, this is real, you know?
So during the process, because I think this is important for the audience, during the process of you making that record, you was making that record to get a record deal?
Yeah, we was doing that record. Well, our management company had their own label called World of World Records, but it was like a real indie label. So we made that record to, you know, shop around to try to get a record deal. Well, he was shopping it around to try to get some distribution. So, you know, he said he only went to Profile, and that was pretty. I think he went to Zakia also, and he went to a couple of other little indie labels. But, you know, Profile jumped on it real quick, and we just went with them.
Okay, let's get that succinct, because I understand that. So we're going to say, you know, at the time we signed to this small record label, and we made this record to, you know, to get to a bigger record label distribution, something short and sweet. At the time you made it Takes Two. You were signed to a small independent record label.
At the time we made It Takes Two, we were signed to a small independent label called World of World Records, and well, they shopped it around to get some distribution, and, you know, Profile Records jumped on it, and they was down to do it. We also went to Zakia Records, and I think it was a few others, but Profile jumped on it, and it was history from there.
Nice, that was great. Now, when Profile jumped on it, they got the record right away, and what type of muscle did they put behind it? Take me there. Like, once they jumped on it, and the time process of what happened.
Well, when Profile jumped on the record, everything seemed like it happened really quickly. You know, it was like they signed it, then next thing you know, we had Red Alert playing the record, Chuck Chill Out was playing the record. It was getting played every week on the radio, or every weekend. You know, it was getting good play. Then all of a sudden, you know, like the streets started to pick up on it. The next thing you know, one morning, I was laying in my bed, and all of a sudden I hear the record come on primetime radio, and it really like blew my mind. I was like, yo, this can't be happening. It was playing like, what time, like around 5, 6 in the afternoon. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
So when you tell me about that moment. So you say you was laying around, the record comes on, do you jump on the phone? What's the process? What you do? Take me back to that moment.
Well, actually, I was like laying in the bed, and then the record came on the radio. I jumped up, I started screaming. I was telling my mother, yo, the record's on the radio. This is crazy. The record's on the radio. And she looking at me, she was like, oh, that's nice, but you still got to get a job. You know, and I was like, Mom, the record's on the radio. She was like, yeah, but you still got to get a job. It was crazy. It was funny now to think about it.
We go audio, Willie?
What's your eye contact like?
He's looking down there, he's looking back up to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to be over here with me, Adrian?
No, I'm fine.
So is there anything I'm missing? You want to take them on this? Okay. So you say you know his song. So, okay. Your mom said you still had to get a job. We're going to the question. How did this record change your life?
Oh, the record definitely changed my life. You know, it was like one day, you know, you poor, don't have anything. The next day, you good to go. You know, it was like, you know, it took me all around the world. I've been to London, Japan, Bahamas, everywhere. It just took me all around the world. It kept us up in Canada. We was up in Canada all the time doing shows. It was like, it was a life changer. You know, just from being a guy that all I knew was just, you know, Bronx, Harlem, basically, and now all of a sudden I'm like traveling the world. It was like really crazy.
All right, we gotta get a pat down on you. Let's cut, and Maria, you get it.
It's hot. It's hot.